Hello, my name is Carlos Nelson Molina and I am your paper genius. In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to make this Halloween ornament. I call it Ghost on the Windows. For this project, we will need white paper, some holographic paper, black cardstock, and also a template will help. You will also need some tools. You will need a paper punch, scissors, and a pencil, and also glue. I'm going to start making the window. For that, I will use the black cardstock and the holographic paper. I have a template already cut. So I'm going to mark around the template in the cardstock. Try to do it as correct as possible. And then you start cutting. And we got the base of our window here. Okay, now we are going to mark and cut the pieces from the holographic paper. I also have that template. I'm going to lay down the pieces. To mark in the holographic paper, you will need a pen. So you go around your pieces, and I always write the number again so I don't get confused. Because once all the pieces are cut, it could get a little tricky. Once you have them drawn, you could proceed to cut. Once you have all your pieces cut, place them in the window just to make sure that they fit. Do that before you glue them. I think this one goes here, yes. This part looks simple, but it's tricky. You could get the pieces wrong, believe me. Okay, so they look good. I'm happy. I'm going to start gluing. These pieces happen to be self-adhesive, so I don't have to glue them, but just peel them in this case. And I'm going to start gluing to the surface. And you don't have to be perfect because the unevenness will make it look more attractive. It's Halloween after all. We are done with the windows, so we are going to start working with the ghost. I also have a template for that. And I'm going to place the template inverse. I'm drawing from the back of the paper. Just draw. And again, these are guidelines. It doesn't have to be perfect. For the two heads, I'm going to add one tab that I'm going to use to glue. So I'm going to do that now just. And I'm going to proceed to cut. I got my 4 pieces cut, and I also have my 4 template pieces. I'm ready now to score the pieces so that I could produce the fold that gives that three-dimensional look to the piece. I usually will use a stylus for this, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a pen. First, you want to have some soft surface so that you could do an impression, a stronger impression on the paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the piece that I cut. I'm going to place the template on top of the piece that I cut. And I'm going to use the template as a guide for the scoring. So here it's easy. All you have to do is go hold it and go very strongly so that you transfer the score line into your white paper. This piece have 5 scoring lines. And you probably cannot see them, but I have marks in the body of one of the ghosts. You're going to use those current lines to start folding carefully so that you get that 3D effect that we're looking for our piece. And again, use the crafter's best tool, your nail. And this part, do carefully and take your time, because the better the crease, the cleaner the piece will look. And we have our 3D body. This is the first one. We have to do that with the other piece. The template that we're going to put in the website has the scoring lines also. Again, do it very strong so that it will be easy to fold. So here we have the two bodies and the two heads already scored and folded. Before I start gluing, I'm going to put eyes and a mouth in each of the heads. I'm going to use the paper puncher to make the eyes and the mouth. I'm going to use a smaller hole for the eyes. I'm going to put the eyes close to the crease. Perfect. And then I'm going to use a larger hole for the mouth. And I'm going to put that over the crease so that the ghost look a little scared. I'm going to do the same thing with the other head. Now we can start gluing. Gluing is going to be a little trickier because we want to create a space. We want to glue them above the window. I use part of the cardstock to create about a ½ inch space in between the pieces and the window. So I'm going to use my leftover paper to cut about 1 inch strip of cardstock. I'm going to score about 1/4 inch. I'm going to fold it. So you got a piece like this. And in the smaller fold, you're going to cut little tabs of about 1/8 of an inch all across. Okay, I'm going to cut this in half. So I will have two pieces about 1 inch long. Now I'm going to start rehearsing where I'm going to glue the pieces. Just play with the pieces until they're arranged in a way that pleases you. Okay, so now I am going to use that crease, the creases that we made before. Those are the creases that we're going to use to glue the piece to the window. So I'm going to curve the piece of cardstock that we cut before, more or less. Now I'm going to put glue in that piece. And again, not a lot of glue. To glue the body to the window, I'm going to put glue just on the edge of the piece of cardstock that we glue and folded before. So now I'm just using the crease. I'm going to glue the first body there. And you see that it has a separation. The piece has a separation between the window and the body. So I'm going to now play with the second ghost, second body. Okay, so I'm going to use the second part so that it more or less will fit the crease that we created before. I'm going to put glue So I'm going to glue it there. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put glue in the edge of that piece of cardstock, just a little glue. And I'm going to use the crease. And I glue this in place. So I'm ready now to play with the heads. I'm going to start with the top one. I'm going to use the tab. That's what I'm going to use to glue the head there. So I'm going to put glue. Then let's do the other one. And voila, here you got the ghost in the window. I'm Carlos Nelson Molina, and I'm your paper genius. You could visit me at carlosmmolina.com. Thank you for downloading.